What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Microsoft Flight Sim 2020. Today we're going to be flying the PMDG 737 from Jackson, Mississippi to Miami, Florida. This is kind of similar to the flight I did on my last video, where I did from Fort Lauderdale to Atlanta, but I flew out of a tropical storm. In this one, I'm going to be flying into that tropical storm. Now, that tropical storm is live. I'm using live weather and everything. So right now it is Friday, June 3rd. So we are actually flying into a real weather tropical storm into Miami. And I think we'll probably do like the ILS landing, and I don't know what the visual is going to be, probably down to minimums or close to. So it should make for an interesting approach. I haven't done anything as usual, so we'll jump inside of the plane. That's not jumping in the plane. There we go. And we will start our pre-flight checklist. First thing we need to do is make sure our park and brake is set. We'll go to the overhead panel and we'll toggle our battery switch to on. Our electric hydraulic pumps can come on, and our ground power we can connect. So now we're on ground power. Our landing gear lever is down. We'll do our APU and engine fire tests. Make sure the lights are working. Over here it's working. And we'll go ahead and flick this to the right. Everything seems to be working there. So we'll go back to the overhead panel. Our engine APU fire warning we just did. Position lights we already have turned on to steady. Our wing lights and engine bleed switches. Wing lights can come on. We'll also turn our logo lights on. Our engine bleed switches are already on. We'll go up here and we'll get our IRSs set to nav. Also turn up these panel lights just a little bit so we don't have to do it later. Our yaw damper is going to turn back off. We'll turn that back on in a little bit. We'll get our emergency exit lights armed, our no smoking set to auto, and our seatbelt lights set to on. Our flap lever is up, our speed brake lever is down, our galley switch right here, that is on. Our window heats can go on 1, 2, 3, and 4, and our probe heats can stay off. We'll jump down below here and we'll start programming our FMC. First thing we need to go is flight sim actions. We'll go to payload, and our zero fuel weight today is 117. So we'll go ahead and put that in there, 117 right in there. We'll clear out that notification there. We'll go return and we'll go to fuel, and our block fuel today is 20,032 pounds, so 20032. We'll drop that in there. We'll go back here, we'll go back to menu, and we'll go back to FMC. We'll go position in it. Here's our GPS left. I'm not going to use a reference airport today. We're just going to drop that in there. And we will go to route. We're going to be flying KJAN to KMIA. I do have the scenery for Miami. I do not have a scenery for Jackson. So we'll put destination there. Our flight number is going to be United Airlines 215, which I just use as default when I'm not flying an actual plan or an actual route, real life route. We'll go to next page. Here is our flight plan. It's a pretty easy flight plan. We do have a departure, or no, we don't have a departure, but we do have an arrival that we'll be flying. So we got a little bit of information we got to put in here. So we will jump over here. Let me put this screen back, put this back over on this screen. And we'll go MEI. We're going direct to. And then we're going on the Juliet 4 jetway to MGM. And then direct to Acori, ACORI. ACORI. From Acori, we're getting on the Quebec 104. I don't think it's going to let me put this in first, though. Oh, it did. Okay, Quebec 104 to Cablo, CABLO. We'll put that in there. From Cablo, we're going to go to HEVVN. HEVVN. And that's also going to be Quebec 104. I don't know if I have to put this in more than once. I think it might just know, but I'm not sure, so I do anyway. And then we're going to LEGGT. LEGGT. And that is also going to be the Quebec 104 jetway. we'll drop that in there. Oh, that's not where we want that. Can we clear that? Delete. There we go. We want that up top there. So Quebec 104 we'll put there. And then we're going to PLYER. PLYER. We'll drop that in there. That's also going to be the Quebec 104. We'll put that in there. And then to SWABE. SWABE. That is also going to be Quebec 104. And then we're going to ENDEW. ENDEW. Again, Quebec 104. Drop that in there. And then to PIE. PIE. Drop that in there. We'll do this one. And then Quebec 104. We'll drop that in there. And that is our flight plan. So we'll go to departure and arrival. We're going to be departing runway 34 left. So we'll go departure 34 left. And we'll go departure arrival. We're going to be arriving runway 8 right. It's the first one. ILS 8 right. And we're going to be doing the Palms 2 arrival. Palms 2. And it's going to be the PI transition. And that should be it. We'll go back to route. We'll go to activate, execute. We'll jump back here as we usually do. We'll jump into our plan mode and take a look to make sure everything is right. We'll go to the legs page and we will step through this flight. That didn't look right. Which step are we on? DHP. Let's see. Let's go back through here. That is doing something weird there. Okay, let's take a look at our arrival. We'll show the overlay here. So okay, there it is. I didn't even realize that was where that was there. The Copra we'll put there. We'll execute that. And then we can go back a page. We'll step from there. And then it's going straight to... All right, let's go back again. We're going to go step, player, swab, Endu, Pi, SRQ to Palms. After Palms, which is right here, we need to go to Privy, Koofs, and then to the runway. Privy, Koofs, runway. I don't know why that's coming out to not work right. Privy, Koofs, and then there. I guess that is Privy, Koofs, and then what is this DHP? I don't think we need that DHP one. I'm not sure why that one's popping in there. I'm not seeing that on our chart. So let's get rid of that. Let's go to the next page. Copra. And I think we can get rid of... Well, no, Copra we might need. Let me go back here. We're going to copy Copra. Go back. We'll put it here. We'll execute that. Let's take a look at that and see if that fixed it. Yes. That looks like that corrected it. So I'm not sure what was going on with that one waypoint there, but we managed to fix it. Hopefully that's right. It looks like it's right. Let's take a look at our runway 8 right. We can double check this by going to approach, runway 8 right. So Cupra and then lawn. So Cupra is where we need to be at 3,000. Chrome, KROME. Where is that waypoint? Let's take a look. Copra, Chrome, KROME. I don't think that's on here, so we can actually put that in. That might be where the other one was supposed to be. Lawn, Copra, and then after Koofs we want Chrome. So KROME. and then Cooper here. There we go. All right, so now that looks like what it should look like. Let's go ahead and step through it just to be sure. So we'll start from the beginning and we'll step right through this. So we go direct to, and then everything here looks good, and then Coos, Chrome, Cupra, and down. That looks good to me. I think we're good. Okay. So had a little bit of an issue there, but it looks like we were able to sort that out. All right, next thing we need to do is we need to jump in here and we need to go to init ref. Our cruise winds, well, I guess we got to put cruise in first, which is 350 today. We'll be cruising 350. And let me look up on our sim brief flight here what our cruise winds are going to be at 350. We're looking at 286 030. So 286 030. We'll drop that in there. Our zero fuel weight will go back up. I think was what, 117, I think. Yep. 117. We'll drop that in here. Our reserves, we have 2,000 in reserves, and we'll do 3.5 as our cost index. Our N1 limit, we're going to do takeoff configuration 1. We're going to go takeoff, and our ATIS here, or MEDAR, here, Jackson Medgar, Wiley Evers International Airport. That's where we're at. 00 by 00. So we have no winds going on. So we'll just do 0 by 0. Nice and calm out here. Our altimeter is 2988. We'll go ahead and set that now. 2988. That was pretty simple. I don't think we need anything else on here. We're good. We will go back to the first page, and we're going to go flaps 5, which will generate our trim 5.7, and our V1, VR, and V2 speeds. 138 is going to be our takeoff speed, and our trim 5.7. Let's take a look down here. We'll set this to 5.7. There we are. We'll go back just a little bit. As close as we're going to get it to 5.7. Let's jump back down here. Second page. Everything here is filled out. We're good. We'll go back to legs. I think we are done with that. Our runway, which was 8 right. We'll go ahead and pull that back up. Approach runway 8 right. So our localizer is 110.3. Our final approach course is 092. Our airport altitude elevation is 9 feet. And our barometer for landing is 450. So let's get this information put into the plane here. First thing we'll do is 092 on our approach course. 092. We'll get it set on this side as well. 092. We'll jump down to our radios here, and it was 110.3. We go 110.3. We'll set that active. 110.3, and we'll set that one active as well. We'll go to the overhead here. Our cruising altitude is 35, so we'll set this to 35. Yikes, that moves quick. And our landing altitude is 9, so we'll leave that at 0. Our barometer for landing is 450, so we'll set that down here. There we are, 450. 138, I think it was our speed. We'll take this right up to 350. There we are, 350. Looks like that is set. And I think we have all the information we need. We can start our before start checklists. So our FMC is programmed. We'll get our 2 flight directors on, 1 and 2. Our auto throttle switch can be off. Our Mach indicator set. Our heading indicator is going to be runway heading, which I'll figure that out here in a second. Our altitude selector is set. Our autopilot is up. Thrust levers are idle. Stabilizer trim is set. Auto brakes can get set to RTO. APU, we'll go overhead here. APU, we will start. And our APU bleed switch can come on. Our transponder, we can... I just hit something. I don't know what I just did. All right. We'll come back down here. This will go to standby. We'll run a test on it. And we'll wait to hear our call out.
TCAS test pass.
All right. We're waiting for our APU to come up and say that we have available power on our APU. And then we will go onto our APU generator and disconnect our wheel chocks, get rid of our ground power, and do our before pushback start. Our fuel, we're not using... Oh, I guess we are using our center tank today. So we'll have to keep an eye on that to switch it off when once we use that fuel. We'll let this stabilize at 4. This blue light should pop on here in a second. There it is. And we will go on our APU. All right, we are on our APU. Our bleed switch, yeah, it is on. And everything else is good. Okay, moving on to our before pushback checks. Fuel pumps can go on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. APU generator switches on. We did that. Seatbelt signs are on. Flight deck doors and windows are locked. Ground equipment and anti-collision lights. With anti-collision lights on, we'll head down here to our ground equipment. We'll go to menu, FS actions, ground services, release our ground power, and remove our wheel chocks. We'll go ahead and set back to our legs page. We'll clear this out for now. Go to our overhead panel. We should be able to flick our yaw damper on. Looks like it's going to stay on. So now we just have electrical. Once we get our engine started, we won't have to worry about that. We're not pushing back too far today. Just a little bit. Just so that we can make that turn out of here. And then I believe our runway is that runway right there. So we're going to taxi all the way down here. Right onto our runway. I'll double check that here in a second. So we will look at here. Runway 34 left. We'll open our charts. Taxi, airport. And yes, 34 left is right here. So we'll back off. We'll go into Alpha. We'll take Alpha all the way down to 34 left and do our departure. Very, very simple departure today. Also, I'm going to be doing another view, a different view in on the time lapse, which I don't remember. Is it Alt 1? There you go. I'm going to do this view today, out the nose. So that's going to be a little bit different. Hopefully it looks really nice for you guys instead of a wing view. Let me pull my throttles here back to idle on my actual desktop control here. All right, we can call our pushback and we can go right engine start today, and we'll go ahead and just start our left engine now. So we'll check this because we're not pushing back far at all. Just a hair. Well, I want to get in that window. There we go. That's good. All right, we can introduce fuel. There we are. Got our left engine coming up now. We'll release our parking brake. We're literally only pushing back for a second. We'll let the tail go over the grass just a little bit, and then we'll stop that pushback. That's probably good there. So we'll go ahead and stop that. Make sure our brake is set, which it is. Our engine is started. I just heard the switch, so we'll go to our right engine. We'll get our right engine going. Engine number 2. Looking for 18 on the N2, and we'll introduce our fuel. 10, 15, 18. We'll give it some fuel. There we are. I'm going to switch to channel 2 here. That way I don't have that. Actually, we'll go to channel 3. That way I don't have that ATIS pop in on me after we take off like we did last time. We can set this back to map mode. We don't need that in plan mode anymore. Once our engine's stabilized, we will do our after start checks, which should be any second here. Go to our overhead panel here. We're looking for this switch to switch off, just like that. Our engine generator switches 1 and 2. So we'll go on 1 and we'll go on 2. We're now on our engine generator switches. Our APU bleed switch can come to off. Our APU can be turned off. Our Pro P switches 1 and 2 can come on. Our master caution system recall will come down here and do a recall. Recall on both. Looks like we are good. We'll go back overhead here. Engine, wing, and anti-ice. We don't need. Pack switches left and right can be set to auto. Isolation valve switch set to auto. And our taxi clearance and transponder mode, squawk mode C, which is TARA. I didn't mean to zoom in there. Taxi clearance. All right, taxi lights can come on. 1, 2, 3. Taxi lights are on. Runway turnoff lights are on. Flaps we can set to 3. That is going to be over here. 1, 2. What's going on with our flaps? Why is our flaps set to 30? That's not where it's supposed to be. That's where we need it, right there. Flap set to 5. I should have noticed that when I went in the wing view. I actually did see that they were extended. I just didn't. It didn't click to me that they weren't supposed to be. So it's a good thing we have these checklists. Flight controls: left, right, forward, backwards, and rudder. We are good. And I think we are ready for taxi. So we're gonna go ahead and release our park and brake. We'll give it some throttle, and we're gonna give a full left rudder to get us turned, so that we can make this turn. It is going to be very interesting flying into the tropical storm, that of which I've never done. I did just fly out of the tropical storm, so we're definitely going to probably rely on ILS for landing into a tropical storm. So this is going to be an interesting arrival. We'll go ahead and swing this around. There we are, and we're gonna get out of here pretty quickly. So we'll go ahead and taxi our way down. If you guys are enjoying this, be sure to hit that like button. If there's anywhere you want me to fly, let me know, and I'll try and make that happen. We'll taxi up here, we'll hold short at the hold short line, and then we'll do our before takeoff checks. We'll go ahead and give ourselves a little more throttle. We'll get us up to about a ground speed of, well, I've been doing 20. I don't know what the actual rule is and what speed you're actually supposed to do, but I've been doing 20. This should be a really good departure. We have absolutely no winds, just clear skies and calm winds. So I'm thinking this is going to be a really good departure. We're doing a direct to, which I'll have to check the FMC once we're down there. I don't know if I have to set it to do that and tell it like go direct, or if it'll just do it once I turn the autopilot on. Also, I need to program autopilot buttons, like an LNAV, a VNAV, an LNAV, and then an autopilot engage button. Some interesting tree walls out there. Grass looks nice here though. Sky definitely looks nice too. We'll just keep on rolling our way down. We're almost down at the end here. I should probably pull up the taxi chart just to see how close we are. Oh, okay, so I can only make one right once we're down there. So we're almost there. Sometimes there's multiple entries, and some of them are exits as well for people landing. But it looks like this one just goes right down, and there's one way in, one way out. Hopefully you guys like that view. I forget what button it is to pull it up. Not that. I think it's Alt 1. There you go. That's going to be our time-lapse view today, so hopefully that makes for a cool view for you guys. I think it will. I think it'll be better than a wing view, to be honest. But if you guys prefer one or the other after you see it, let me know, and I'll be happy to change it up. All right, here we are, slowly coming up on our turn. to line up short of the runway. We're already slowed down enough for me to make this turn, so we're good on that. As I brake it just a little bit more. Pulled that a little bit wide. All right, here we are, holding short, runway 34 left. We'll go ahead and put our brakes on, come to a stop right there, put our brake on. Before takeoff checks, our auto throttle needs to be armed. Our engine switches need to be set to continuous. One, I can't see what that went to. Yep, we're good. 1 and 2. Master caution recall. We don't have any alerts or alarms or anything going on. We're good on there. Transponder is already set. Landing lights and strobe lights. Strobe lights are already on. We'll go ahead and toggle our landing lights on, and we're good to pull out onto the runway. Let's give us some throttle. Come on, let's get her moving here. There we go. And we'll get lined up on the runway here. All right. We'll go ahead and stop here for a second. Just want to see. No, okay, so I can't arm those yet. I didn't think so, but I wanted to see. We'll get our runway heading set properly here. There we go. All right, we're ready for takeoff. We'll go ahead and hit our toga button. We'll keep her centered while we can, as much as we can, until we hear our call outs. Cross check.
V1. Rotate.
Rotating.
Positive rate of climb.
Gear up. Beautiful departure so far. Flaps can come up to 1. We'll go ahead and nose down so we can get our flaps all the way up, which I think I actually did. Keep our nose down just to watch our speeds. There we are. Flaps are all the way in. We'll go ahead and go VNAV, LNAV. VNAV. Oh, altitude. We need to get up higher. So we'll continue climbing. We'll start our right-hand turn here. Until we get our altitude high enough. Go ahead and toggle that on. There's a wing view. All right, we'll set our gear to off. Can we go into VNAV yet? No? I'm not really sure what that meant or why that restricted me there. Our flaps are all the way in. Yeah, we're good. All right, after takeoff, landing gear is up, flaps are in, taxi light switches can come off. Autopilot and auto brakes can go to off. So we'll go ahead and, well, we're not above our speeds yet, so we can't turn that up yet. So my VNav is not working right now for some reason. So we'll just manually maintain the speed for now. There's a wing view. There's the airport down there that we just took off from. Which looks good. We're climbing nice. Although I would like for it to maintain the speed. I'm not really sure. If I gotta do speed intervene. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what I did wrong as far as the VNav not working. There's something I forgot to do. It was working before, but we are directly on course. Our speeds are fine so far. We could get our speeds up a little bit. There we are crossing over 10,000, which will be our climb checks. Our landing lights are off. Now they're off. Our engine start switches can go to off. And our seatbelt signs as required. I want to keep an eye on this speed because I'm not really sure why. We're going to nose down just a little bit. There we go. Now our speeds are climbing up. We'll keep them going. Keep our speeds climbing. We're above our restricted speed, so we can go ahead and put our speeds up a little bit more. What we could also do is go into level change mode, and we'll maintain 280 on our way up to 350. And that's another way that we can manage our speed. Again, I'm not really sure if I did something wrong as far as that goes, or if that was just like a bug or something. I don't know, because I cannot go into VNav mode at all. Although it might also be, no, there's speeds programmed, so not really sure why that's happening, but that's okay. We're gonna climb up to 18,000. Once we're at 18,000, I'll go ahead and put it into the time-lapse mode, and we'll just keep an eye on it and make sure everything manages itself fairly well. Which I think it will. It should. Level change is basically says, okay, get up to flight level 350 at whatever angle of attack you need to be at to maintain 280 knots. So that's basically what's happening now. There's a window view. Clear skies, except for out there. There's some clouds out there, but over us, there's nothing. Bright sunny day. Let's look out the left here. Some small clouds over here. A little bit of overcast over there. Nothing too crazy. So let's take a look at our 780 is going to be our Mach speed that we want to maintain. So if we go into here, how do we change this to? I thought it was this. I think the plane's bugging out or something, because some of the things aren't working. VNav should be working, and I also can't change this to Mach. Let me put it back into speed mode. No, see, I can't even change it to speed mode. Oh, speed intervene. No? Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on with that. We'll just manually manage our speeds. We're about to cross at 18,000. We'll go ahead and hit standard mode. And I'll keep an eye on the... It's bothering me, man. I don't know why I can't do that. Flight directors are on. Auto throttle is armed. Even the speed intervene button isn't working. Well, I guess I'm already intervening the speed. I have to toggle off level change and then go into speed mode. There we go. Autopilot, yes, I know. And we still can't go into that VNav mode. No matter how much I click it, I don't know why. We'll go back into level change, and we'll just keep it at 280 for now and keep an eye on our speeds. We'll go ahead and jump in the window here. It's, what was it? Alt 1. There you go. And that's going to be our time-lapse view, and I will catch you guys on our descent. right, guys, welcome back. First off, I want to say that the reason that I couldn't turn on VNav was because at some point during my when I was doing the init stuff and putting my performance information in, I never hit execute. So shortly after the time lapse started, I was able to sort that out. So you'll see the screen jumping around a little bit in the beginning there, and that was me sorting that out. So we are on our descent. We are going right into this tropical storm. And we can start our descent checklist. So the first thing we're going to do is get our landing lights. We're not going to do that. Seatbelt signs are on. Air conditioning and pressures are checked. Let's get our panel lights are already on and everything, because we want to have that on. I don't know how dark it's going to be underneath these clouds. Engine and wing anti-ice we don't need. ATIS obtained. Engine start switches, we'll set that to continuous 1 and 2. And our local altimeter, which is 2983. I'm going to refresh it on my other monitor here just to make sure. Yep. So it's maintaining 2983. This looks like a hell of a cloud or a storm system that we're about to fly into. I don't know what it's going to look like under this, but it is saying that it's only winds are at 100 at 11 knots, which actually isn't too bad. I believe it's a 5-mile visibility. We have broken at 2,300, overcast at 5,000, scattered at, it looks like 6,000 or 6, yeah, somewhere around there. Definitely going to be an interesting arrival here. I hope you guys like the different view for the time lapse. 2983. We're gonna put that in. So we'll go standard. Go 2983. And it looks like we are following our descent profile perfectly fine. We're gonna be making a left here in just a minute. Let's zoom this out. We'll keep it zoomed in. Here's our left-hand turn. Take a look out the window. It is definitely going to be interesting below these clouds. We got to set this for arrival too, by the way. So we'll go in it. We'll go 30 degrees. So 133 plus 5 is going to be our landing speed. That looks fine. Our speeds are all input here. It's going to slow us down as needed. And everything looks good so far. We're about to go into these clouds. I can go back into that head view there. It's a good time of day to be doing this too. If you look at the sun's kind of setting, so it's creating some really cool colors and everything. It'll be very, very interesting flying into this. Our approach checks we'll do at around 10,000. We are crossing below 17,000 here in just a second. I'll jump back up in this window view here. You can see the crazy formation of these clouds, which you don't get to see a lot in this game because of, you know, you don't really get a lot of tropical storms that you can just fly through. I mean, I always use live weather. I am starting to see some of the ground down there. And I think I can see a little bit of it out here too. So there are some breaks in the clouds a little bit. But yeah, some really crazy cloud formations. Looks like we're probably going to be going directly into this and into what's called the soup, where we won't be able to see anything at all. We're going to completely rely on our instruments on the screen to get us down to where we're going. I'm probably going to try an ILS approach here. Hopefully take it all the way down to the runway. We got about a 16-knot tailwind right now. You could just see the rain pouring out of that cloud. You could see that just running down. That looks so cool. So here we go. We're gonna fly right into this cloud. And we'll see when we pop out again. All right, so our speeds, let's take a look. At 279, we want to get down to 248 once we get to Koofs. There you are. You hear the rain coming in now. And if anybody was wondering, your wiper is right here. You could always turn on. I'll probably turn that on once we're a little bit closer to the ground. I want to make sure that my vertical navigation and my speed and everything's working properly. So far our descent is working perfectly, but our speeds seem to be a little bit high. So I want my speed to come down. If it doesn't come down here in a second, I'm going to do a manual intervene and bring it down myself. But here we should be at 249. So we're going to go ahead and go into speed override. We're going to start bringing it down ourselves. So 240, and then we need to be at, well, 250 by the time we hit Koofs. And then we need to come down to 211. Which we were add some speed brakes in because we are way above our descent profile here. We need to get down a lot further. I don't know why we're so high above this profile here. Maybe part of that has to do with the speed and having to keep the speed up so that we can get down. We'll see. It looks like right here we're getting further and further away from our descent profile. And there we go. Now we're getting back on track and getting closer to it. You can see right there, which is what we're looking for. We turn the speed intervene off. There it is. Now our speed is working properly. All right, and we'll turn our speed brakes off. So now we're falling below our descent profile there. And we'll just continue on descending here. Looks like our speeds are managing well. We're a little bit off our descent profile. Hopefully we catch back up on that. But we are at a good altitude and everything. Looks like we're doing fine. Not too far off of it. And we're starting to come back onto it, as you can see. This number here is getting smaller, which means we're getting closer to our descent profile. I think that just had to do with me messing with the speeds there for a minute. But we're on our way down. We crossed that 10,000 so we could do our approach. So our landing lights can come on. Our auto brakes can be set to 2. Our decision height is set our master caution. We don't have any cautions. Our speed brake, we'll go ahead and arm that now. Our flaps will start to set, landing gear and taxi lights we will set. We'll also get, well, we won't get our lights on just yet. But flying into a tropical storm, man, look at these clouds out here. Absolutely stunning. They look crazy. Oh, there's some turbulence throwing us around right there. So we're holding this altitude for now, and our descent profile is coming up on us right here. So we are looking good. Looks like we're probably going to jump right back on that slope, that descent slope. Yes, we are. Window view, not much to see. There's out the left side. Crazy looking clouds, man. I absolutely love it. Let's go back into the right wing and we'll leave it there for now. Crossing 7,000. Our speeds are at 234. We're gonna have to get them down to 211. It looks like it's gonna come down to shortly. And we can start looking for our localizer relatively soon, about 14 nautical miles. Here we are back in that rain. We'll see how this approach goes. We have our course set on both. We have our navs set for both. As soon as we hit this next waypoint, our speeds will start coming down, and we'll be getting set up for our landing. Can't lie, I wouldn't want to be in this in an actual plane. It would probably be nerve-wracking to me. Everything's looking good so far. I wish the weather worked on here. The radar, the weather radar, that'd be awesome. Hopefully that's something they bring in one of the updates. We're about 9 nautical miles out, and then we'll start looking for our glide slope. Our altitude is good. We're coming down. Our speeds are fine. I do want to kind of get my speeds down a little bit more. I hope this doesn't screw it up. But let's get it down to that 200 mark. Oh, I guess we can't. Without falling off that glide slope. I guess that glide slope for our descent is perfectly in line for the speed calibration and everything. So we'll just let it keep the speeds on for now. I'm just getting ahead of myself here, I guess. Looks like we're fine. I add a little bit of speed brake just to get us back on that profile. So we'll go ahead and arm our speed brake again. There we are at 1,000 from our 3,000 altitude that we have set, which is our intercept for our ILS altitude. Yeah, we were fine. I don't know. I was rushing the gun to slow it down. Everything seems to be all right. Our glide slope or our localizer is coming in right here, so we'll be able to toggle that on here shortly. There's our speeds going down. Once they're down, we'll go ahead and get our flaps going and everything. We'll go ahead and throw one of these wipers on. We'll just keep that on at a slow pace. All right, and we'll go ahead and go localizer. And we are locked onto the localizer. And now we can go into speed intervene. We'll bring it down to 195 where we can get a notch of flaps in. We'll bring in a notch of flaps here. What else? Flaps, landing gear, and taxi light switches. We get our taxi lights on. So we are all lit up. Still nothing to see out the window. We're going to hit our approach here in just a second. And we'll go ahead and toggle approach. There we are, locked onto the glide slope. We'll bring our speeds down. About 170, 138 is going to be our landing speed. How far out are we? We got a little ways to go. We don't have to drop the gear just yet, but we are going to drop the gear here soon. We'll keep bringing our speeds down, and we'll go on to our second ILS or autopilot button. We'll go ahead and add another notch of flaps here. We want our speeds to come down. They're struggling to come down here, it seems.
2,500.
There's 2,500 call out. So I'm going to add some speed brake. There we go. And we're going to keep trying to get our speed down. No, I cannot get our speeds down. So we'll add some speed brakes. We're going to try and slow it down. There it goes. Now we're starting to get it down a little bit. We'll go ahead and drop our landing gear. That'll help us add a little bit of drag as well. There's our speeds coming down. Keep them speeds coming down. I have some lights out in front of us here. Go ahead and set this down to 138. We'll do 137. And we got to get our flaps all the way extended. We're having trouble slowing down. That's why they're not all the way extended just yet. There we are. We'll do 2 more notches of flaps. All right. Just barely see some runway lights up ahead here. I do see some PAPI lights, so it looks like we're doing okay in that department. We're gonna keep our speeds down as much as we can. We have a 6-knot headwind, which actually isn't terrible. Man, what an approach, man. Almost all the way down to minimums. We can't see anything. Hardly see out the window here, but we do have the runway in sight. We are following our glide slope. The PAPI lights look good. We're right at our target speed. Hands are on the controls in case I need to take full control here, but we're going to try and do an auto landing here. Hopefully we don't get that weird glide slope call out which I think we might. That was bugged. Or at least I was told it was bugged. All right, looking good. Looking good.
20. 10.
There it is. Left rudder, reverse thrust. And we'll try and slow her down quickly. Auto throttle, we're good. We'll go ahead and toggle off the autopilot. Toggle off our reverse thrust, and we are down. That was not a bad landing at all, considering the weather conditions. I think that went pretty well. So go ahead and turn this off. We're gonna get off here. And we're gonna hold short at this taxiway here in just a second. And welcome to Miami and a tropical storm. Not a bad landing at all. All right, we'll cut this to the right here. And we're gonna hold short right here. There we are. We'll put our brake on, double check that that's on. It is. All right, and we will do our after landing check. So our landing lights, we'll go overhead here. We'll actually get the dome light toggled on right here. Our landing lights can come off, 1 and 2. Our strobe lights can stay on. Well, they're on auto. So taxi lights will keep on. Flaps, we'll go ahead and put our flaps back. We'll put our speed brake lever back. Our transponder can be set to standby. Engine start switches can go to off. Anti-ice, we didn't use stabilizer trim, and we can get the APU started. We'll go ahead and do that. We'll jump down here and get this set to standby. There we are. We'll take a look at the taxi chart here, and we could pretty much just taxi right up to a terminal here. I would like to go around and get to one of these terminals if we can. So it looks like we'll go straight and then around to the right, and then see if we can follow that all the way around. So we'll give us some throttle here. Release our brake, obviously. Give us some throttle, get us moving. There we go. Sound effects are awesome. Everything here looks really good. And we're going to follow this taxiway all the way around to the right here, if we can. Hold on. My pedals, they kind of slid off in front of me there again. There we go. So we're gonna follow this guy all the way down and around, and then we're gonna try and get to the F terminals. So if you guys enjoyed that, be sure to leave a like. If there's anywhere you guys want me to fly, let me know. But yeah, when I was setting up my flight plan in the beginning there, I must have accidentally not, we're going a little bit fast, so slow down, not hit execute on the FMC when I was doing my flight plan and putting the performance information in, which is why my VNAV was not working properly. I need to check something here. Let me go out into this view. So we want to go around to the left here. Yeah, we're going to follow this taxiway right here around to the left and get ourselves over to the terminals. There we go. The rain sounds absolutely great. The weather is very interesting. I mean, we had clouds pretty much all the way down to minimums, which that was, I've done that before, but only in Portland, Oregon, KPDX. The weather out there is always like awful. I think I'm gonna follow this around. Let me take a look here. Yeah, I'm gonna keep following this up, and then I think I'm gonna go left up here at this one right here and follow that around to the terminals. So this is where we are, and I kind of want to follow this way to this terminal right here. So I probably want to get on Papa and follow Papa down. So actually we'll go straight here. We're not going to turn left yet. So we're on Whiskey now. We're not going to turn there. We're going to turn at this next one. Which should be Papa. So a little bit more taxiing on the arrival here, but that's because I wanted to get over to the proper terminals and not just the first one I saw. There we are, and we'll follow this right down to Papa, which should be these terminals right there. And welcome to Miami in a tropical storm. That was a cool flight. The clouds looked absolutely awesome on that approach. I hope you guys did enjoy that. So we flew out of a tropical storm, and in this video we flew into the tropical storm. Now I wonder if this line, oh there we go, so that's Foxtrot right there. So we're gonna take this around. Actually we're gonna continue forward here, and we're gonna go on to the other side of Foxtrot. We'll follow this guy over here, or this line. There's some of the terminals there. Oh, I guess it all just clipped in because we got close enough to it. Alright, so I'm going to be making a left here. And we're going to be picking one of these terminals on the left-hand side. And that's where we are going to end our trip. There we are. Nice wing view again. Let me jump out of the plane here. And we could do this second terminal here. Right there. We'll do the second one. So not this one, but this next one. There we are. We'll start slowing her down a little bit. Get herself centered up on the line there. And there we go. We'll go ahead and put our brake on there. We got our taxi lights off so we're not blinding anybody in front of us. And we will do our parking check. So parking brake is set. Let's double check that. Yes, it is. Seatbelt signs. We'll go overhead here. We'll get our wiper turned off. Our seatbelt signs can come off. No smoking can come off. APU generator switches need to come on. Yeah, we already disconnected the autopilot. APU bleed switch. We'll need that on for now. And the open. Pack switches left and right set to auto. They're already on auto. Engine anti-ice probe heats 1 and 2 can come off. Oh, you know what? We need to get the engines off first. I skipped that one. So we'll get engine 1 and 2 off. Oh, I think that was my auto throttle turning off. That's what that was. And we'll go overhead. Actually, we need to call for our ground power. So we'll go to FS actions, ground services. We'll set the wheel chocks and we'll request our ground power unit. While that gets set up, we'll we don't want stairs. We want the jetway, but I don't know if we can. There we go. So we'll request the jetway. I don't know if it'll come today. Oh, there it is. It's working. All right, cool. So we'll go overhead. We'll go on this ground power here. All right, all right. We're on ground power now, so our APU bleed switch can go off. Our isolation valve can go to, well, we'll keep it on open. And our APU can get turned off. Probe heats and window heats can come off. Window heats off. Probe heats off. Fuel pumps off. Bell damper off. Emergency exit lights, we'll leave them on for now. Anti-collision lights can come off. We'll leave the wing lights on. We'll throw on the wheel well lights for them. And that's where we pretty much leave it for a turnaround state, I believe. I don't know if I can go in here and go... Oh, it's going to be boarding. I was going to say, can I deboard the plane? I know there's a way to do it. I just don't know how to do it. But anyway, that's going to be our flight for today. If you guys enjoyed this, leave a like and let me know if there's anywhere you want me to fly. And I will see you guys on the next video.